Good practice.
I have plums.
Ooh,
I
nice.
had
Blueberries.
Today
And
I have,
peaches.
in anticipation of the movie coming out.
I have chocolate-covered donuts.
Those things are wax.
But I like
Not so good right now.
They're really great with coffee. I need some more coffee. Staff, more coffee.
Intern.
Intern, anybody.
Intern, outturn, midterm. I don't care.
They don't even know. I don't even think my family knows.
No
I'm here.
turn.
U-turn.
Okay. Well, hello everyone watching the video. We are about to start the audio recording of Catholic Weekend episode number 228. And we have no idea what we're going to talk about, but it's going to be fun. We just know it.
Or
So,
something.
Something. It's going to be something. That's what they say about me. He's something. Oh, here we go. You're listening to Catholic Weekend, episode number 228 for the week ending Saturday, the 28th of June, 2014. Hello. I'm Captain Jeff here in Roswell, Georgia, and I don't know where you are, but welcome to Catholic Weekend. And joining me today is, from Conyers, Georgia, Maria Johnson. I don't think I have you muted. Oh, okay.
I'm going to pretend. I'm going to pretend like I can hear the music and just jump in here and say, good morning, everybody. Hello.
You can't hear the music?
No, I can't hear anything. I have no music in my life.
I bet you can now.
Ah, there we go.
Sorry about that.
It's all good.
La. That's why Steve was going like this. Okay.
He wanted to shoot himself, and no, that's not it. He couldn't hear anything.
I was pointing at my ears like, no hearing.
I
No
get it
hearing.
now. Next time I'll attend rehearsal and I'll know all these signs. All right. Well, speaking of Steve from the plains of Oklahoma, Steve Nelson.
Yes, I can hear the music, and hello, everybody. It's a wonderful day, and we're going to have a great show. So thanks for being here, listening, wherever it is you're listening.
And from deep in the heart of Texas, Angela Ciolana.
Howdy. Happy summer. How y'all doing?
Fantastic.
Heart of Texas.
Ooh.
So where exactly is the heart of Texas?
San Antonio.
It's actually our Convention and Visitor Bureau little motto that we're deep in the heart. So
I imagine it's really just a mesquite bush that's kind of out in the middle of nowhere.
probably.
Well, I do know that there's a little town in West Texas called El Paso, and Marty
True.
Robbins sung about this gunfighter that fell in love with a Mexican girl.
Oh, I like that song.
I love it too. Every time I go to El Paso, it's funny. That's all I hear in my head. And every time I look up the lyrics on my phone.
My husband went to school in Waco at Baylor University, and he used to, when we got married, I was a big fan of, oh my gosh, I forgot the guy's name. But anyway, he sings All My Exes Live in Texas.
Oh yeah.
Who is it? Marty? No, not Marty Robbins.
No, I can't remember his name.
Slim Whitman?
No. I think he lives in Tennessee now. Anyway, every once in a while, John will play All My Exes Live in Texas. And I'm like,
All
it's
my
been 30.
exes live in Texas.
Real catchy song. I like
It's
it.
been 30 years. You'd think I'd get over that. You'd think he'd get over that.
You never get over that.
You never
George
get over
Strait.
that.
Hello.
George Strait, that's
Of
right.
course.
I bet you did a Google search.
I
You
did.
You have incredible
Oh,
Google
cheater.
skills. Catholic Weekend, where Googling is an art form.
Well, it is. You have to do it without making keyboard sounds. So like, of course I'm paying attention to every word everybody is saying.
That's why I brought my iPad today.
Well, first of all, I'd like to apologize to all of our viewers and listeners for last week. We really did plan on doing a show, but then all of a sudden, the night before, it just kind of fell apart. Partly because, or maybe mostly because, I didn't really communicate what was going on, and I just assumed that I was going to hit the record button and we were going to all be here. But didn't work out, but it's going to be so much better this week anyway, so... Patrick Padley and I were at the Catholic Press Association Catholic Media Conference, not the CNMC, but the CMC in Charlotte, North Carolina, representing SQPN, MOUSE. Sounds like I have a lot of letters.
It's like throwing another acronym in there for me.
Wow.
As if those acronyms aren't confusing enough.
Yeah, I know. But so anyway, we were there, and it actually officially ended Friday night, and I took Patrick to the airport at like 6 o'clock in the morning, I think. I volunteered to take him back there, and then I got back to the hotel, and then we realized we weren't going to do the show, so I packed everything up and headed home. So, again, apologies for those of you expecting to see a Catholic Weekend episode in their inbox, and you didn't get one, sorry. So, there. And Maria, you said you weren't going to be able to go to the Eucharistic Congress, but you went anyway. You goed anyway.
I'll go anyway.
You goed anyway. I don't know what's the matter with me. Can't talk no.
Well, no, I wasn't feeling very well. I had a migraine, and there's just so much going on, as you know, in my life with my dad's illness and trying to get to Miami and back and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, all this to say, how could I miss Greg Willits speaking at the Eucharistic Congress? So I got up. I missed my favorite part, which is the procession in the morning. It usually begins with a beautiful Eucharistic procession and I think a Mass. Does it start with a... No, maybe it doesn't start with a Mass, but it certainly has that beautiful procession in the morning. And so I was able to get there, on my time, which was right on time for Greg's talk. Listen to his wonderful talk, which was really about just not being afraid to go into the new evangelization, which is, as we've been talking about forever now, same story. Nothing has changed. We're just really taking ownership of going out and talking about our faith. So it was a really good conversation that he had with us. He shared a lot of personal stories, and he's actually, one of my favorite parts was that he was in a suit. Number one, I'm used to seeing Greg barefoot in cargo shorts and a faded Rosary Army t-shirt. So let's just say that the man cleans up nicely. And
he's a big wig now.
He's a big shot. He was so cute. But and I was able to see Jennifer. In fact, little Lily photobombed a picture that I took with a selfie that I took with me and Jennifer. So that was cute. But I got to see all the kids. They're just all big young men now.
I know. I saw a photo of them, and they're
Wow.
teenagers and everything. I was like, how'd that happen?
Yeah, it was really, really, really amazing. And anyway, it was a good time. It was a very good talk by Greg. And since I was there, I went and visited with Jesus and had a good adoration, and then went home. I mean, really, it was just maybe 2.5 hour turnaround for me. But it was good. I needed that, and went back to my regularly scheduled migraine.
Oh. How's your head now?
It's on my head. Okay. It's on my neck.
It's sitting beautifully on your neck.
Your head is on your head.
My head is on my head.
Just keep your head, would you?
I will.
Okay.
I will.
Well, great. Good that you saw Mr. Greg and Jennifer and family. They're a wonderful family.
They really are. Let me tell you one more thing. It was so cute. Years and years ago, I think at one of the early, maybe in the famous meeting where we met, and you said that you were the pilot.
Is it like you have to mention that every?
Well, it was back in those early days. They have a really wonderful children's track at the Eucharistic Congress, so parents can leave their school-age children and little ones in like a little catechetical camp, like a little mini VBS for them, and it's very well done. They wear the ID bracelets so that the kids can't run around or be picked up by anybody that's not authorized. So it's really well done. And the Willards dropped off their kids, and I can't tell you how old Sam must have been at the time, but he ended up leading everybody in an Our Father because things were just not happening to his liking. And everybody just jumped in and prayed the Our Father. And at the end of Greg's talk, he brought up the family, and don't you know, Sam did the same thing. When they remembered that anecdote, he led the whole crowd in an Our Father. So it was cute. That's pretty good.
Nice.
That's cute.
I always think of I listened to those Rosary Army tapes of the well, not tapes, recordings of the scriptural rosary,
Mm-hmm.
and I always hear Greg in my head saying, "Thy kingdom come, Thy will be done."
Kingdom?
I don't know if you ever noticed him say instead of saying kingdom, he says kingdom.
Kingdom. All right.
So I always hear his voice in my head, kingdom come.
Kingdom come. Kingdom come.
Anyway, I love it. All right. Well, thank you, Maria. How about you, Angela? What were you doing last week?
Last weekend, I cashed in on a Christmas gift that I got during Christmas because they were tickets to a comedy show. And so my sister gave us, my husband and I, these tickets to a Christian comedy show that was actually really funny. I know you're probably thinking, like, Christian comedy, wah, really lame, but actually it was great. The headliner was Tim Hawkins. He is hilarious. I've been a fan of his for a few years now. He's famous for writing a Chick-fil-A song and a couple other things. But anyway, yeah, so we went. It was like this mega church, sort of like in the middle of nowhere in the hill country of Texas. So we drove out there, and just to give you an idea, like, I posted a picture on my Instagram of this humongous, like, they have this big building for the kids ministry at this church, and there was just outside the entrance of this kids ministry building was this huge, like, lion statue, but like with really colorful, and he had a big old smile on his face, and he was wearing like a robe, and he had a crown on his head, so he was like a king, and so it was pretty funny. And then the inside of the church, the comedian described it as an alien Viking ship, was kind of like the way that it looked inside. So it was just kind of, I mean, it was hilarious. It was really fun. But, it also was kind of interesting because on the drive back, my husband and I were talking about, just kind of how the differences between Catholic churches and Protestant churches, especially like these sort of evangelical mega churches, and just how we did not feel like it was a church, because there was no like religious art. There was no, like, there wasn't even a cross, or it was basically just a stage and lights and, chairs, and like that was it. And so, yeah, so it was a really fun outing, but also just kind of interesting to venture out. Because my husband and I just don't really have the opportunity to go to non-Catholic churches. Our family's Catholic and everything, so yeah. So that was a pretty interesting weekend.
It's interesting. I've kind of had that same experience, going into some of these mega churches or even just more mainline Protestant ones, and they're so plain compared to what our churches look like, and so there's a real culture shock walking in there. So I always try to remember when I bring a guest to a Catholic church, and then you can be overwhelmed by all the imagery
Right.
and everything,
Yeah.
the bells, the smells, the candles, the windows, the art, the statues, the pillars, the water font, the holy water font, and the whole
Yeah.
thing. Like sensory overload. It's like, all right, calm down, take a deep breath. Nothing's going to bite you.
Let me prepare you for this. There's our church is undergoing right now a bit of a change in the sanctuary. Unfortunately, our church is one of those cold spaces that is just very beige and very simple, and even the crucifix is not well, we don't have a crucifix. I mean, we have the little one that we have to bring in because there has to be a crucifix on the altar, but it's a risen Christ on like a weird tau. It's not even a cross. It's not even a T. It's just very not a traditional looking Catholic church, and the tabernacle is off on the side, and so we're in the midst right now of raising money to just do in just the sanctuary. The rest of the church is going to be left alone until we can get some more money for it. We'd love to have stained glass one day, for example, but right now that's our project, is to get a crucifix and to move the tabernacle back onto the altar, and just do the whole revision. But we go very often to one of the super mega churches in the area that seems like every time they get a new bishop, there's a new scandal that closes that church and a new one opens in its stead. I say just burn down the whole premises and start anew, because whatever church they're planting there, the soil's not very good.
This is not a Catholic church.
No. It's
And
one
not
of
really
the
a
mega
bishop
churches.
either.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The self-proclaimed bishops. So, but it was the same experience as what you were explaining, Angela, except for in this place, there's a hole way up in the wall as you face the front of the church. And I'd been there for some graduations and some other events that were held there, because it's a nice big public meeting area. It's the baptismal pool up there. So they baptize up in the air so that everybody can see what's going on, and it's really just a little room with a glass to keep you from falling out into the audience.
Wow.
Isn't
That's
that
amazing.
crazy?
I've seen that in some really small country churches, the same thing.
Wow.
They sort of
It's
walk
really-
in down some steps on one side, and then they walk up on the other, after they get dunked.
Yeah, it's really quite an interesting thing.
Huh.
Anyway,
Well,
that's all.
I grew up in the Lutheran tradition, and our churches are much more like Catholic churches than they are like the spaces you're describing. And even when I was a Lutheran, when I go to some of these mega churches or non-denominational churches, it was really striking how bare everything was. And then when you can't even find a cross anywhere, it's just kind of weird, I think. But now that I've been a Catholic for more than 10 years, 13, 14 years, something like that, I think you kind of get used to a typical Catholic church surrounding, and when you hit one of those other places, it's like, wow, it really makes a big difference. It's shocking how empty it is. So the new iconoclasm, I think, get rid of the icons and whatever.
I think it's good to keep that in mind whenever you go visit somebody else's church or they come to visit yours, and just try to keep that in mind.
What was interesting is that when we announced to our families that we were becoming Catholic, one of the big concerns my mom had was that our house all of a sudden was going to look like the inside of a church, and Maria's probably laughing because Linda pretty much has made it look that way in our house.
Got some
And
great
Steve too.
You got some great stuff there.
But it didn't start off that way. But you go into like a house, and they're a strong Catholic family, and you're just like, whoa, everywhere you look, there's Mary over here, and there's Jesus over here, and there's John the Baptist, and all these statues and paintings and
Well, you're describing your house.
yeah, I know. That's what our house is.
I looked around our apartment the other day. We had to have some maintenance done, and I was just looking around one morning, just trying to plan, like, okay, if I was the maintenance guy and I came in, what would I think? And I was looking around, and I'm like, he probably thinks we have a church worship service.
Well, I sort of aspire to that in a way, because it's like family, You have pictures of your family, and it's like, well, what's wrong with having a statue of Saint Anthony and a picture of the Immaculate Heart of Mary, or and the Sacred Heart, those kind of things. What's wrong with that?
You come no, there is nothing, but it's so foreign to so many people that it's just like the initial shock is like, why, like in jumping into really, really cold water. Then after you're in the water for a while, it's like feels okay. You get used to it. Same thing with going into a beautiful Catholic church or somebody's house like ours. Stuff all over the place. It's like, wow, like it's a shock. And then all of a sudden, after you get used to it, you go, that's actually pretty nice. But, a lot of that stuff, for me, not being a Catholic, was, it was just so foreign that it just felt wrong. And then until you start understanding, you read what the church says, you listen to people that know what they're talking about these things, and the fact that, no, we're not worshiping that statue or that picture, just as if you have a picture of your family in your wallet, or you travel and you put a little picture of your family on the nightstand, you're not worshiping them, you're just putting them there to remind you of them. And
and you don't set out one day to say, wow, I'm just going to equip this whole space with Catholic heavy.
No, it just accumulates a little bit at a time.
Well, I mean, I think you can go overboard, and you can kind of, descend into some sort of idolatry.
Oh yeah, that's
true.
That's easy to have. Yeah.
But I think there's a tasteful way of doing it, and an appropriate way of doing it without
scaring people.
Obsessive.
I was talking to a friend of mine earlier this week, or maybe we were just texting. I don't know, but I had reached for something in the little console in my car, under the radio, in that little area. There's a little like a little pocket. Yeah. And I looked at what was in there, and I thought, wow, anybody who I give a ride to at lunchtime or something is probably going to judge me really hard. There's a coin of Saint Teresa of Avila, and there's a holy card of the Immaculate Heart that was the funeral card for actually someone in our community. I won't name her, but anyway, so that card is there. So like there's this beautiful holy card in there, and then there was a rosary, and I think that there was there might have been something else in there that like maybe a mass card, because I'm going to a funeral on Monday. So all of these things were in there, and I'm like, wow, I didn't set out. And a rosary. Did I say the rosary? I didn't set out. I didn't set out to put all of that in there. It just kind of
and it doesn't seem abnormal to you. Do you have one of those, those little things that you can stick in your cigarette lighter, and like
Sacred Heart,
like incense comes pouring out? Wouldn't that be cool? Actually, if they made something like that, I would get that.
Although I think that'd probably be dangerous for driving, like malfunctions. You just can't
have the windows open.
Well, I had a strange thing happen yesterday. On my key ring, I have a little chain that has a
miraculous metal
on it, but it broke. It came off. The metal came off, and I was trying to put some money in the toll booth, and I grabbed it with some quarters, and I nearly threw the Immaculate into the coin. I was like, one, I wonder if that would have worked. And two, I would love to have seen the guys who's sorting the coins.
I bet you there's been more than one miraculous medal thrown in there by accident. That's hilarious.
You get to go there for free for the rest of the year.
I don't know if you heard that, but my kitchen timer just went off. I have to go take some bread out of the oven. I'll be right
Get the
back.
bread. Come on.
Man does not live by bread alone, but come and share with us.
Well, I don't want a fire breaking out in my kitchen.
All right. Well, we'll carry on without Steve. Oh, by the way, I need a little editorial note. If you're listening to the podcast right now, I apologize. I didn't get the H2. I pressed it once, Maria, not twice.
Oh, no.
I looked down while you were talking at the, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes ago, and it's blinking. The little red light's blinking out. Oh.
You're going to have to capture it.
Not only did you not hear the music in the background at the beginning, if I managed to get the audio from the beginning of the show on the video here, so it's going to be a really screwed up sounding show.
I love it.
Well, it normally is anyway, but so my apologies. It's a human engineering error on the recording. So
we'll never win any awards from the CPA.
No. Of course, we have to have a category that we would enter into first, and then
best train wreck.
Best train wreck. We would get that.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Well, why don't we take a minute to acknowledge the folks that did win some recognitions from them?
Why don't we do that, Maria?
Let's do that, because I was doing my homework. So we started the show by recapping that Jeff and Patrick Padley from SQPN were at is it the Catholic Press Association? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, the Catholic Press Association puts on the Catholic Media Conference, so it's the CMC put on by the CPA.
Wow, how about that? So we had some winners in some of those categories, and it has. I was reading through that list, and if I miss anybody that's been on the show or that we kind of are friends of
it's
SQPN,
a ginormous list, people.
So apologize, but it has all kinds of amazing categories, and our very own here in Georgia, the Georgia Bulletin, which is our Catholic newspaper, won first prize for best redesign. So they've redesigned their paper, and it's actually looking pretty good.
They actually won several different awards. In fact, we were Pat and I were sitting at the table. In fact, Pat was sitting right next to one of the ladies, the representatives from the newspaper, the Bulletin.
Oh, really?
At our
nice. So kudos to the Bulletin, because of course this is what SQPN's home is in the Archdiocese of Atlanta. And they're not divas, but we have to acknowledge them anyway as little divettes today, right? The best online blog goes to Catholic Mom, and so kudos to Lisa Hendy. And I think that you guys might not know, or maybe you do know, that Sarah Reinhardt, Snoring Scholar, has been doing a lot of the administration behind the scenes at CatholicMom.com, so we appreciate that work that she's doing as well. So congratulations to our favorite ladies here, Lisa Hendy and Sarah Reinhardt. Boop, 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 boop. And speaking of special ladies from around here, to complete the trio, Mr. Steve of Steve's Angels, Pat Gone won third prize for the best book in the gender category for Blessed, Beautiful, and Bodacious.
Yay!
Yay!
Awesome.
Woo-hoo-hoo.
That's really fantastic, because Pat pours her heart out into everything that she does and writes, and so it's really good that she got recognition for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was easy.
And then two guys who've been guests on Catholic Weekend before. Brandon Vaught got first place for Best Coverage of Marriage. And you know what? I didn't write down the name of the book or the name of the article. I can't.
It was on Our Sunday Visitor.
Was it?
Or in Our Sunday Visitor.
Wonderful. And then finally, for the Best Online Blog Individual, that goes to Jimmy Aiken. So how about that?
That's excellent.
This would be the moment where you cue some fanfare or something.
That would that's where I'd look at finding something that says applause.
Or we can just do this.
Why can't I find any of these things? Here we go.
There.
Applause to everyone mentioned by Maria there.
All
Excellent
right.
work. Oh wait, that's not it.
Oh wait, we can't play that. No.
We can say happy birthday yesterday to Father Corey Stitcha.
Oh, that's exactly why I played that.
Oh. Good save.
Or I could play. Now our update from Papua New Guinea.
Take it away, Steve.
Oh, we don't do that anymore, do we? Okay.
Oh well, I can give you an update on from Papua New Guinea if you like.
Can you? What's going on over there?
Wait, hold on. Put on a grass skirt first.
No, they don't wear those. They don't wear much of anything. No.
Scandalous.
All right. Train wreck. All right. Hey, would this be a good time for me to put in a little public service announcement?
Go ahead.
Yes, it would, Jeff.
Yes, it would.
Well, thank
Jeff,
you.
please.
Thank you.
Okay.
Steve. All
The
right.
public is awaiting.
The Airman of Note for Miss Maria Johnson.
Thank you.
And this song is appropriately named Sleaze Factor. So
I don't want to know why you say that's appropriate.
Because he's talking.
Because I'm talking, exactly. That's what I meant. Anyway, thank you everybody for continuing your support to our organization. And I just want to let you know that we have big plans at SQPN. And we can't wait to nail these plans down and start broadcasting them to you, our listeners and supporters. And for those of you who have been supporting us for oh so long with your, not only your prayers and your thoughts and all that stuff, but your monetary support, we couldn't have done this without you. We wouldn't be here. You know, honestly, we would not be still here doing productions and stuff for the new evangelization. Right, Maria?
Absolutely.
So our heartfelt thanks to all of you who continue to support us in that fashion. And if you would like to support the Star Trek Quest Production Network, SQPN, you can head over to sqpn.com/donate, or just look for it on the front page there. There will be a little area where you can become a friend of SQPN by a monthly donation. Now we accept, one-time donations as well. So do that, please. And again, just a reminder, next year we plan a big celebration of the Catholic New Media Conference. That's going to be our Jubilee Conference, and we have some big plans for that. So we can't wait to give you some more information about that, hopefully soon. And if you want to start a blog or a podcast or whatever, and you need hosting, we highly recommend Bluehost, our partner. And you can find information about that by heading over to sqpn.com/Bluehost, or just look for that Bluehost banner on sqpn.com. And finally, who doesn't shop at Amazon.com? I mean, I know I do a lot of my shopping there. If you do, a very painless way to support the network is to go to sqpn.com first, look for that Amazon banner, click on it. That puts a little cookie, not a chocolate chip cookie, but a computer cookie, somewhere into the magic part of your computer. And so when you make a purchase, a little bit of that purchase.
It's so good.
love it when
you
So
talk
much
about purchase.
in the magic
Not-
part of your computer.
Not only that, but if you do that, in addition to whatever you buy, they'll send you like little tiny chocolate chip cookies. That's not true.
No, Jeff. No, they won't. I've tried.
Oh, they won't do that. No. Well, that's what I was told.
You get oatmeal cookies.
Oh, okay. Well, you don't get cookies, but your computer does. So
You get cookies in the mail. They
Yeah,
come like in
yeah,
crumbs.
computers like cookies too.
They're
Hey
great.
now, did you have
Wow, this is really going off the track. Anyway, so you get the idea. Head over to Amazon.com, but before you do, head to SQPN.com. Click on that banner, or just make it a bookmark, like many of us do. And so when you go to Amazon, you click on that bookmark, and it automatically will give SQPN its little tiny percentage of your purchase. And trust me, it adds up.
It's not a real bookmark like the ones that you put in a book that has like the little, Scooby-Doo cartoon or anything like
not?
that, right? No.
Oh.
I had one with a Pink Panther one time. I don't know where that went. I lost it. I'm sad.
Anyway,
sorry.
Well, thank you. So that's about it. All right. Aren't you glad you stuck around to hear that? I am. All right.
Boy, I am, Jeff.
I know you are. Shut up. We love each other. We really do. Just like brothers and sisters. And if you have a brother or sister, you know what that means.
You know what that
You stop touching me.
Mom!
Don't look at me. Stop looking at me.
He's on my side of the car.
Those family road trips that you take. I remember we were up in Jackson Hole, and we had a rental car, and I decided not to get the van, which I should have, but I wanted to save some money. And so we're in a large sedan with all three of our kids in the back seat. They were younger at the time. So I just remember that's what we heard. He's touching me. Tell him to stop touching me. Ugh.
And the tallest one sit behind you so that the feet would go like this against your back as you're driving.
Yeah, and we're looking outside.
Kicking the back of the seat.
The Grand Tetons. I mean, just this beautiful scenery, and the kids are like inside fighting with each other, hitting each other.
That just reminds me of the Chevy Chase movie. They spend like 20 seconds with the Grand Canyon so they can make the Wally World.
There it is. Looks great.
Well, we took a big family vacation in Alaska and rented the RV and everything. And the first thing that the kids did, they were all like in middle school, was put up a big sign on the side of on the inside of the RV that said the Griswolds.
Going to Wally World. Oh boy. Okay. Well, how about a little bit of something did happen Catholic related in the news. Several things actually this past week. Several things happened here in the United States at the Supreme Court, and one of which was actually a very positive ruling for people who like to minister to people outside of abortion clinics. And justices ruled, I think, unanimously. Isn't that right? I'm not sure about that. But it was.
Yes, it was.
I think it was unanimous. That I guess in one of the states, was it Massachusetts? They ended up making a rule where you couldn't get within 35 feet of an abortion clinic. And they said, well, that's a little excessive. I mean, in other states, it's like 7 or 8 feet, something like that. And so they ruled that that was unconstitutional. So, a little win for abortion rights, or, anti-abortion rights, or right to life. And what do you think about that? Anything? Good?
Well, it's free speech. I mean,
Yeah.
makes sense that it was unanimous. So.
Yeah, and there are some other big decisions as well, have nothing to do with the Catholic Church, so I guess we really don't discuss them here.
Well, but there was breaking news that the Pope is still Catholic. That's always good.
Yeah. Did you see something about I was looking, I didn't actually click on the headline, but it said something like some people were thinking that the Pope was sick because he's missed a few things, or
today I think it was today he canceled an appointment. He was going to go visit a hospital, but he canceled it last minute because of an illness. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
I think he's okay, though. I think he. I saw something this morning about talking about a morning homily that he did. So,
that's good.
He's good enough to celebrate Mass and do a homily. So I think we're hoping that everything is okay with Papa. And
well, I tell you, with his schedule, I mean, I would not be able to take on his schedule. It's just ridiculous. So at his age, I give him some credit.
Yeah, right.
If he needs to take a nap, then that's
let the man take a nap.
He's in his mid-70s, right? Something like that.
Yeah.
Hmm. The other thing I was going to mention is I was going through one of the news aggregation sites I like to use is newadvent.org. I think you can get there with newadvent.com as well. They were talking about a report that was issued somewhere where some lady has been doing research for the last 7 or 8 years. And you know that old adage, 50% of marriages end in divorce? And through her many, many years of trying to figure out where this statistic comes from, she was not able to actually come up with, results or facts regarding that. And then not only that, but she found that the rate of divorce among people who attend church, active churchgoers, was like 15 to 20%. I mean, which is still not good, and this is all Christian traditions, not just Catholic. So that was, pretty positive news as far as marriage is concerned, I think. You know how you say something enough over and over and over again in public, in the news, and everything else, you start believing it.
Absolutely.
And you take it for granted that it's fact, and perhaps it is not. So that's a good thing. And then, of course, sports. The World Cup.
Whatever.
This is something that hey, you don't like the World Cup?
Listen, I have an opinion about that.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Nobody cares about soccer, so now why does suddenly everybody care about soccer?
Well,
I'm saying?
in this country, nobody cares.
That's what I'm saying.
Nobody
Yeah.
native to this country.
Right. And we do have Maria. Somebody take Maria over by the side. Slap her around. We do have people that watch and listen to the show, at least a handful, that are outside of the United States.
I say send me hate mail.
Yes, yes.
And you can send your hate mail too.
Catholic
go.
Weekend at SQPN.com, and we'll forward it. We'll make sure that she gets it all, because we want to read it too. So, by the way, if you do want to send
I'm not
feedback,
opposed.
Make it as juicy as possible.
we do occasionally get feedback, and you can send it to CatholicWeekend.com. Catholic Weekend at SQPN.com. And here, let me. Okay, what's the number? 1-862-200 SQPN. I always forget. Lynn's probably yelling at me right now. No, you idiot! It's on the top of
Screaming.
it's on the top of the dock, Jeff. I put it right there for you.
Blah, blah, blah,
Idiot.
blah, blah. Blah,
All right,
That's
well,
how I
while
feel
I'm-
about soccer.
Well, while my other browser loads up over there, and then my computer starts making a lot of fan noise, I will continue with my talk. And the U.S. kind of made history, because I think this is the first time in World Cup history that, well, maybe not the first time. Is it the first time that we've made it to the knockout round? I mean, past that initial group play and into the.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Well,
You're
Maria,
asking two people who do not care whatsoever.
my gosh, I mean,
Oh, wait a minute. So I'm going to get the hate mail and you're already saying that you don't care either?
that's what she said.
What?
That's
What?
what she
Oh,
said.
yeah, but I didn't
Yeah.
say
Yeah.
nobody cares about the World Cup.
That
I
was
said
very good.
I don't care about the World Cup. The difference is clear. What say
Oh,
you,
well.
Steve?
I believe that we will win.
The whole thing?
That was a little play on the believe thing, okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you know what? Let's just move on.
I believe.
No, I've
I'm
been
sorry
very
I
much,
even brought it up.
No,
well, I've
come
been
on.
watching as many games as I
No.
can.
The only
Now
the
you-
only fun moment in this for me is that I have a colleague that's from Ghana. And, oh, so
It's much more exciting to me than the NBA.
If you want to.
well,
what?
I agree. Basketball, I don't like watching at all.
Well,
That's
what
just
I like.
un-American.
I like just like any of these tournaments that are, nation against nation kind of thing, like the Olympics or whatever.
You dislike them or do like
I
them?
do like them.
Oh, okay.
Because like Costa Rica has won their games and they've gone on to the next round, and that's that's big for them. And then and there's lots of countries that are like that, and so I like the
the
excitement of
U.S.
that. And the U.S. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I can even see Lynn Maria Francisco. Maria Lynn Francisco. There we go. I got it right. is editing our document right now. So, sorry, Lynn.
to
Okay, it's
include the
your
feedback. Oh.
So the feedback number, if you want to send audio feedback, is 1-862. I got it right, by the way. 200 SQPN.
By the way.
By the way,
BT dubs.
on the record. All right.
FTW.
Wow.
So, speaking of FTWs, how about FNWs for fastest nuns in the West?
Yes.
Okay,
Isn't that
let's talk about this
fantastic?
story.
Okay, what are you talking about?
I posted this fantastic story to Steve earlier this week. And I got it. You know what? Do you have the information, Angela?
I have it in front of me. Yes.
Go with it.
So this is on the Huffington Post that I'm reading from. It was linked in John Clem's Sweet Tweets for this week, and it says that the Archdiocese of Santa Fe is exploring sainthood for an Italian-born nun who challenged Billy the Kid, calmed angry mobs, and helped open New Mexico Territory hospitals and schools. So her name is Sister Blandina Segale, I guess, since it's Italian. And she was an educator and social worker in Ohio, Colorado, and New Mexico. So apparently she was super awesome, and twice she challenged Billy the Kid to abandon his violent plans. His, I don't know what you call that.
He's just a kid.
Kid. She faced him down. There were no guns involved.
Yeah.
Right. But Maria likes
No,
to
she
say
had a big
nuns.
ruler.
No. Stop with that stereotype.
That's awesome. That's good. A gun-toting nun.
Gun-toting nun. No guns, no guns.
Was she one of the nuns that taught you when you were in New Mexico, Steve?
How old do you think I am?
For the record, not as old as Jeff.
Hey, that's true. And he won't be older than me until I die, and he keeps living.
Oh, wow.
No, I don't. Did it give a year? I mean, Billy the Kid was what, 1870s, 1880s?
Well, it says here that the only date I can find is she founded St. Joseph's Hospital in Albuquerque before returning to Cincinnati in 1897. So
Yeah, so I'm not that old, Jeff.
Okay. Neither am I.
Century. Turn of the century.
Okay, well, that's an interesting story.
I think there's lots of stories, of people that did that sort of, we would call it maybe pioneering, but you could also call it missionary work, going off to the frontier, no matter where in the world. I mean, there's probably lots of stories of people who did things like that.
Well, if the frontier was anything like the Lone Ranger, did you see that with
The
Johnny
movie?
Depp?
No, I didn't see
Yeah.
that one.
No, I heard that was a flop.
No, I heard it was bad.
That was
it?
terrible. It was so awful.
Hey, Steve, I thought about you the other day because they were talking about Route 66.
Mm-hmm.
Route 66 goes right through Tulsa,
It does?
and doesn't it?
It does. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were that was a question mark. And they said that it was officially retired from the U.S. highway system or something like that back in 1985. It's still a highway, though, isn't it?
Well, a lot of it's been replaced by interstates. So in Oklahoma, a lot of Route 66 is now Interstate 44.
Oh,
Still,
tragic.
but you can still travel a lot of it. You just have to kind of,
Bits
get
and
on
pieces
and off
of it.
highways and things like that. But yeah, in Tulsa, it's mostly 11th Street that passes right through town, goes right through downtown, and there's still remnants of it.
Yeah, I remember Steve was taking me on the grand tour of Tulsa once when I had a layover there, and I remember seeing, wasn't there some kind of a big giant statue or something like that you were showing me on, or a billboard or something on 66?
Yeah, there's it's one of the landmarks in Tulsa is this big Medigold dairy sign that's all neon and everything like that, and so it's been preserved, as part of one of the remnants of Route 66, and They actually have where Route 66 crosses the Arkansas River. They built sort of an entryway or gateway or something like that. You know, it's got flags and statues and things like that to commemorate Route 66. It's pretty cool.
Route
That's neat.
66.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all I can think of is the Manhattan Transfer in my head.
Yeah.
What do you think about that, Pat Cone? The picks of the week. All right. I can't believe it's already time for the picks of the week. Where does the time go?
Not fast enough.
I know. That's what people are
That's
saying.
what the
right
listeners
now.
are
Oh,
saying, yeah.
God. Finally.
You know, time flies, except on Catholic weekend.
Where time stands still. All right. Who would like to go first with their pick of the week? Come on, don't fight over it.
I have 3.
Oh, my God.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Make it
Perfect.
fast.
Oh, really? Are we running out of time?
Yes, we are.
Time is
Okay.
standing still, remember?
All right.
I'm
Let me
sorry.
see. All right. Let me think.
What? Hold on.
Okay, first.
You said you had 3.
I do. What was
You
it?
just can't
Can you
remember.
pick out one?
No. All right. Number 1, I want to shout out to the Archdiocese of Oklahoma City, who this weekend is ordaining 5 new priests. And
Hurrah.
and this is monumental. I mean, they've probably done that before, but when you think about in Oklahoma, Catholics are only about 4% of the population. You know, we're very small compared to a lot of the other Protestant denominations, things like that. But to have 5 new priests, that's just awesome. So
Awesome.
congratulations to the Archdiocese, and God bless those 5 new priests. Yeah. Number 2 is Jeff. You're a music aficionado, and I suppose everybody is. Maybe. Have you ever heard of the Wrecking Crew? You know what the Wrecking Crew is?
The Wrecking Crew.
Yes.
No.
All right. They are a group of studio and session musicians that have been on the recordings of many, many, many of your favorite music. I mean, they go all the way back to Nancy Sinatra, the Monkees, Bing Crosby, the Mamas and Papas, John Denver, the Beach Boys, Simon and Garfunkel. This one group of musicians they were like the ones in Los Angeles everybody called in to play on their records. Anyway, there's a new documentary coming out about them, and a lot of the little licks and the little background tracks and the rhythms and stuff that you associate with the music you grew up with, everything from the 50s on up, these guys are the ones that invented it. Anyway, so there's a new documentary about that. I'm going to go see it this afternoon, and I would just like this. If you like music and the history of music, then go see this. It's called The Wrecking Crew.
Pretty cool.
Nice.
Cool.
And number 3, are we going to do what we talked about before the show about what's since we are commemorating the Immaculate Heart of Mary today, we said that we would like to mention our favorite Marian hymn, and mine is one of the Magnificat ones. That it's not really traditional. I guess it's more modern, but it's the one that goes, "My soul proclaims the greatness of the Lord." You know that one?
Mm-hmm.
That's one of my favorites. I don't know if I would
beautiful.
want to hear it during Mass, but I do like that one.
I think that's John Michael Talbot.
It might be. Yeah. So anyway, those are my 3 picks. Thank you
Nice.
for listening.
Excellent.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Maria,
Yes. Well,
do you have a pick of the week?
I have 3 picks of the week.
Oh,
We have a
I
plethora,
decided I have 3 picks now too. So
plethora of picks.
A plethora of picks. Pickies.
Cornucopia of
So-
contributions.
There we go. Well, so I'm going to go with my favorite hymn is the Ave Maria, except that I can't pick which one I really like the best, so I'm going to go with Schubert, number 1, Puccini, number 2, number 3.
Which one? What, number 3?
Yeah, good enough.
Oh. Do you know it?
Yeah, I'm not going to, no way. As a matter of fact, that of the three is the one that I like the most at the moment. That's it.
Oh, those are your three.
Yeah, those are the three.
Oh,
She had
Okay.
three
Oh,
in
I
one.
see 3 hymns. Okay.
Three in one.
Huh.
Like a trinity.
Yeah.
How about you, Miss Angela?
well, my first pick is this great post on First Things by Dr. Gabriel Said Reynolds. He's professor of Islamic Studies at Notre Dame. And I got to meet him in March. He's a wonderful person, wonderful Catholic father and husband. And he has a great article on First Things that explains about the situation with Miriam Ibrahim, who is the woman who in Sudan who was arrested last year, actually, for supposedly leaving the Muslim faith. So this article explains a lot of the situation in very clear terms and also gives really great insights because Gabriel is a professor of Islamic studies. He has great insights about the Islamic law as well as what many Muslims are doing to help her situation and what we as Catholics can learn from this. So if you've been kind of following that story, it's really a great read, and it's not very long, so I definitely would recommend it. The second pick is, since Steve talked about music history stuff, I watched this great documentary on Netflix recently called 20 Feet from Stardom. And, oh, is that your pick?
No, it wasn't, but I was going to mention that because what Steve was saying reminded me of it.
Oh.
I
Well, have you watched it?
wholeheartedly- Yes.
I loved it. It's
I did
about
too.
the
I recommend it to
history
people all the
of,
time.
yeah, the history of backup singers in the United States, particularly in the music industry, especially like leading into the Motown years up through the 90s and today. And it's really fascinating, and just I learned a lot. So yeah, if you like music in any capacity or any way, I really would recommend that too. It's on Netflix. And then my third pick is my Marian hymn, and my favorite one is an oldie but goodie, the Salve Regina. So
That was mine too. Wow. We need to
I'm
coordinate this better.
sorry.
No, that's okay. We think alike, I guess. So thank you,
Yours is the
Angela.
one.
Great minds.
Yours
Yeah.
is the one from what was that Whoopi Goldberg movie with the
Oh,
Oh yeah.
Sister Act?
Sister Act?
Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about. Which one are you talking about?
You know, another one, I mean, if you want to claim that one, another one that I really like is Regina Caeli. I like that
That's a
one
good one too. Usually sung during Easter.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can get any sound from this.
Nothing.
Nope.
Oh no, now you can hear it. This is kind of a Gregorian version of Salve Regina. Can you hear that?
hmm
Okay. Pretty. Pretty. Okay. And now you can't hear it, but I can still hear it in my ear. Okay, it's off. Let's see. Of course, I hear that in my head all the time. I concur with Angela regarding the Salve Regina and the 20 Feet from Stardom, available on Netflix if you have it. And it really, it kind of makes the point that some of these backup singers are actually better than the people that they're backing up, but it takes like a certain kind of personality to be the star. Yeah, would you agree, Angela? That was kind of like the difference.
Yeah, and they even, I remember one of the interviews I did was actually with Bruce Springsteen, and he said you have to have a certain level of narcissism to be the front, singer, the face in front of the crowd, and to be the star and the celebrity. So,
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, so again, that's an excellent documentary that you should check out. I really enjoyed it. And my third pick of the week is, I guess we all had three picks. Is this lady, her name is Amelia Rose Earhart. Amelia Earhart. Not the original one, of course, that was lost on her attempt to circumnavigate the world back in 1937. And they think that she ended up crashing somewhere in the South Pacific. And this Amelia Earhart, I guess at one point I just learned about her yesterday. Actually, I did, and this whole thing that's going on. She is a pilot. She has been a television news and traffic reporter, and she thought that she had some kind of a genetic connection to the real Amelia, or not the real, but the one that we
The
always
original.
think of. Yeah. So, but anyway, it turns out that it's just her namesake. There's no connection whatsoever. But she, for the longest time, has wanted to do this recreation or reenactment of this attempt to circumnavigate the world and try to approximate the same path that Amelia Earhart did back in the 30s. And right now, she is on leg number 3. And you can go to Amelia Earhart Project. Let's see, is that right? Amelia Earhart Project, yes. And on that page, there is a little app that is showing in real time where she is. And she also has a co-pilot with her. And they are flying not an Electra twin-engine airplane, but a single-engine. What's the name of the airplane? Darn it. A Pilatus PC-12 turboprop-powered airplane, and but you can see where she is right now. She's just somewhere between Montserrat in the, I guess what would that be called? The Eastern Caribbean, heading down toward Trinidad and Tobago. The first leg started in Oakland, just as Amelia Earhart did back in the 30s, and she went from there to Colorado, because I think a lot of that's where she is sort of from right now, and they're supporting a lot of support is coming from the Denver area in Colorado, and then she continued down to Miami. She landed last night, and then she started early this morning out of Miami and heading down to Trinidad and Tobago. So if you want to learn more about this recreation and symbolic completion of her namesake's famous around the world flight, head over to AmeliaEarhartProject.com. I know it has nothing to do with Catholicism, but it does. I think it has a lot to do with just, a lot of stuff that we're interested in, adventure and history, and for many of us, flying. So check it out. It's really cool, I think. So I hope she makes it.
Yeah,
The
that's
longest
a
leg-
cool adventure.
Do they?
Yeah,
Do you know how
the-
long it's supposed to take her?
No, I'm not. I'm not sure because I tried to find that information, but maybe I just didn't delve deeply enough into her website, and I was trying to get the exact itinerary, or what she was going to try to do exactly as far as her flight plan is concerned, and I don't think she's going to be able to do exactly the same route because of today's geopolitical barriers to some of these countries that she can't get permission to fly through and such, but
Right. There's
it's going to
probably
roughly approximate it.
Yeah, there's probably like flight restrictions now that weren't there before and things like
Right, right. But
It's pretty neat
anyway.
that she is taking this on, and that she was, like named after her, and
Mhm.
she grew up and became a pilot, and I don't know, I think that's really
I'm
Well, I
excited
mean, with a
about it.
name like that, how could you not take an interest,
Yeah,
Yeah.
really.
yeah.
And she has a lot of modern technology. She the app, or the navigation system that she's using, that's giving real-time information to this website, also allows her to have in-flight basically Wi-Fi, and so she is actually tweeting while she is and making real-time reports while she is flying along. So much more. A lot more modern technology that she is using in her airplane on this attempt. So it's pretty cool. So I thought maybe some of you might be interested in checking that out. So that is my third pick of the week. So I guess we all had three. Interesting. Okay.
How about that? I saw that picture that you posted of those planes that land in that. Is it a Caribbean country?
Oh, it's in St. Martin.
Oh my gosh! Have you ever been to that beach?
No, but I've seen a bunch of videos of people, either watching people land or people or airplanes taking off, and a lot of crazy stuff happening.
Where they
there.
have to actually hold on to the fence because of the blast?
Yeah, in fact, there's one video out there that's just kind of horrific because the girl's trying to hold on to the fence. She can't. She gets blown backwards and doing backward somersaults and hits her head against this low, stone wall or whatever. It's just not smart to do that. And there's signs all over the place that tell you don't do that.
Don't do that.
But people do anyway. But anyway, the little video that I posted that Maria's talking about is a 727, which I used to fly years ago, coming in for landing, and I mean it is very low. I don't know how the landing gear didn't hit somebody on the beach before it touched down. So
wow.
Anyway, so just do a Google search for St. Martin. I forgot exactly the name of the beach, but landings or something like that, and you'll find all kinds of videos about that. All right. Well. Anything you all want to say before we shut this thing down? Okay. Forever hold your peace. At least until next week.
I feel like we're missing something important, but I can't think of what it is.
How to
We always
find
do
us
that,
on
like,
social media.
Oh, we forgot to mention this.
We forgot to mention how to find us on social media, which I figure, hey, that's the adventure for you this week. Figure it out on your own.
Yeah, you know what you can do? You can head over to catholicweekend.sppn.com, and there are links to all of our digital goodness on the web.
Wow.
Wow, cookies, magic, and digital goodness.
And Catholic
All
There's
came
the
forth
title.
from Deb's mouth today.
Catholic Photo Challenge. Catholic Photo Challenge. Catholic
Yes,
Photo
the
Challenge.
Catholic Photo Challenge. It ends
That's what
in
it
a few
was.
days.
Yes, Catholic Photo Challenge.
Trying to be
Done.
subliminal. Catholic Photo Challenge. Catholic.
Everything is stable.
We'll get Pat to whisper it for us.
And inspiredangela.com. Inspiredangela.wordpress.com.
Oh, and I know what it is. Happy Independence Day this week to
Oh, that's
my
right.
fellow Americans.
Yeah, this week.
My
I'm gonna be-
fellow Americans.
I'm going to be on the mall watching
I'm
fireworks
not a-
on Friday.
What?
I'm going to be in D.C. watching fireworks
Are you?
on Friday. Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
well, how fun is that? How patriotic of you.
Yeah. It's one of those little bucket list things that it just happened to happen. Happen.
Happen
Will
to happen.
happen to happen.
Happened to happen.
H to H. Okay.
Okay.
Well,
End it.
if you're a U.S. citizen and you celebrate Independence Day, have a great celebration. Be safe. And God bless America. Until tie that in. Until next time, we have a great week, great celebration. See you here next weekend on Catholic Weekend. Take care and God bless. And God bless America. Wow. All right. I don't know when the audio is going to be up because I'll be leaving right after the board meeting to try to catch an airplane, so I'll try to get it up sometime. So.
Whatevs.
Yeah, and it's
Run
gonna
pretty
be a challenge because I screwed up the beginning and not having the recorder on.
Don't worry about it. Just roll it the way it sounds. It'll be fun.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, the best part is
Roll
later
with it.
anyway, right?
What? I missed
The
that.
best part is
when my
latter
computer crashed.
What?
I guess I missed that. What? We didn't record the first part of the show?
Oh, when you were taking your little
Oh.
break. Well, first of all, on the video, of course, you guys weren't hearing the music because I didn't have the appropriate knob turned up for you to hear that.
That's
And
all right,
then
we're
I-
professionals. We tried to.
And I wasn't really that worried about that. But then I looked down at some point, Maria was talking, and I noticed that on my H2 it was a flashing red light.
Yep.
And
Gotta push
if
it
you have
twice.
if you have an H2 recorder, you know that a flashing red light means that it's not recording. It's ready to record, but it is not recording. So I quickly reached down and got that, and then I thought, okay, how am I going to fix this? It's going to be a mess.
Brilliant.
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 Oh,
Have a Guinness and then think about how to fix it.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Have a Guinness before every show.
it's good for you.
I wouldn't suggest that on a Saturday morning. Get tanked up
Why
before the
not?
show.
With a dollop of milk?
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Just a dollop. That's all you need.
Well, thank you everybody in the chat room for joining us today on Catholic Weekend. Sorry
Yes,
again
chat
about
room.
not being here last weekend, and we plan on being here next week. So
I may not be.
maybe not. Oh, that's right, because you're going to be in. Well, you know what? We'll get maybe we can get you an on-scene report from
Maybe.
Washington.
If I can take my H2, or I guess I can record it on my phone, I may try to get some audio for you.
Oh, that'd be great.
Here's what fireworks sound like.
Not recording anymore.
Oh, oh, I have to play it just a little bit. I know we need to start the board meeting, but one of the masses that Pat and I attended was at St. Peter's in downtown, and their featured music
Hi,
was
guys.
from.
I'm
No.
talking to my husband.
Oh, hello, husband.
If you want to say hi.
I'm not dressed properly.
You have a
doesn't matter.
CNMC t-shirt on.
Oh, yeah.
Come on now.
Hey, I got a CNMC t-shirt on.
You get points for that.
Representing.
It's the orange one's my favorite.
The orange.
Well,
We
anyway,
should make a turquoise one.
Boston, right?
Bowling shirts, I'm telling you, bowling shirts.
Bowling
Boston
shirt.
Black. That was San Antonio, yeah.
so the featured choir was a gospel choir, and so when we started out, it was a beautiful pipe organ, and it was a very traditional hymn. I can't remember which one it was, but everybody was singing. It was like the whole place was filled. It reminded me of a Protestant church. If you don't know what I mean, attend a good Presbyterian or Methodist or Lutheran church on Sunday for worship, and you'll understand what I mean. When every single person actually has their hymn and they're actually singing loudly.
Yeah.
It's
Imagine
beautiful.
that.
Or a charismatic Catholic church.
I've not experienced that in any of the churches I've seen.
You have not, or
No. I mean, the
You've not
Methodist ones and stuff I've gone to haven't been any
really?
better than the Catholic ones, yeah.
well, you need to go to a Lutheran church then. Anyway, so I thought, I was kind of expecting a different style, than that, because it said something about a gospel choir. Well, from that point on, after that point, everything was from this different style of music, and it was really cool. So let me see if I took my phone out. Both Pat and I did. Let's see if I can. Let's get to the more active part. Hey, where did it go? Where'd it go? Hey. There we go.
Delete.
How's your bread, Steve? How did it turn out?
Well, so I've started to try to make more whole wheat bread, and I'm not doing it very well.
Anyway, so it was an interesting. Hey, now it won't stop. Stop singing. They right after the consecration, and when the priest is consuming the body and blood of Christ, they started singing "Lean on Me."
Huh.
That was
Really?
interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was interesting.
It wouldn't have been my choice, but
No,
Yeah.
but it was
it's a
kind
nice
of.
song.
But it was kind of cool, actually. And you know me, how I feel about music and stuff like that. Now, the reason why this wasn't offensive to me was that if you looked at the choir, there were actually African Americans singing that kind of music, which is natural. Unlike in many of the choirs that I've been a member of, like all of the choirs that I've been members of, and we're mostly from, let's say, Scandinavian background, or from Minnesota.
Mhm.
And then our choir director
Does
decides
not
that
translate well.
yeah, and then these choir directors always think, well, let's sing a Negro spiritual. It doesn't work. It's just awful. It's just like, don't do that. I mean, It's not that I don't think that that kind of music is inappropriate in a church. It's just that it's inappropriate for very very stilted white people to sing at a Negro service.
Yeah, I mean, well, it is. There's a cultural divide there.
I'm sorry.
There's a cultural divide. I agree.
Catholic
Yeah.
Weekend, hosted by a stilted white person named.
No, I can sing that stuff because I know Steve knows what I'm talking about. We understand what jazz eights are and how to sing in that style
Mhm.
and play in that style.
I'm going to keep calling you a stilted white person because you called yourself
Stilted white
that.
guy.
I'm just.
No, I did
I
not.
feel
call
like
myself
now I have the permission to say that.
I'm sorry, but
I just got all kinds of uncomfortable.
No. I'm a tall person, but I'm not stilted.
right.
You guys are hilarious.
Well, I guess we need to shut this down so we can get the board meeting going. Pat's asking me if we're meeting this morning. I don't know why he's asking me, but anyway, maybe they're waiting for us to end this broadcast. So
Yes, that's what it
Sorry,
is.
okay, we'll see ya.
Well, tell Pat hi. He's supposed to call me, but he hasn't in months.
All right, Pat.
In months.
Steve.
In months.
All right, I'm turning this thing off. Thanks everybody for joining us today. Take care. Bye bye.